Well, hello and welcome back to the channel. So, as you know, we are doing this Cavalier quest using 4 stars and hopefully without using any items. And we are at chapter 3.1 with Odin as the boss. But before that, I am extremely sorry that I could not be able to kind of upload any videos for a couple of days, and that's of course because the transformer in my area, as I've already told you, exploded for some reason, and it's been about a week and we are still deprived of any power supply. I, however, somehow managed to charge my phone from one of my friends, and then of course trying to upload this one here. And also, if you're new to the channel, please go ahead and click the subscribe button and also be part of the family. And that also helps me grow as a creator. Just making sure that we are recording. So about this quest, this is pretty much suitable for science champions, and more ideally those who are either poison immune or can purify poison debuff. As you can see in a moment from the notes, there are sort of 4 universal notes, namely Karmic, Constitution, Waxing Blight, Contagion, and Weaken the Knees. And also apart from that, we have Brute Force as an additional node for the path we are taking. So basically, whenever you make contact to the defender, you will be inflicted with a poison debuff, or maybe there is a certain chance that you'll be inflicted with a poison debuff. But also, while using a science champion, you will take 85% less damage from any poison effects. And there is an additional node which allows your science attackers to kind of gain a passive fury every time you either purify or prevent any poison effect from applying on you. And you can stack up to 15 of those passive furies and increase your attack by a flat 300% max. So ideally you would want to bring a science champion that is either poison immune or can purify poison effects. So champions like Hulk, Abomination, Sea-Hulk, Redhawk, or Immortal Abomination, Immortal Hulk, or any science champions who are poison immune are very good for this path. And also, if you don't have those, you can also bring any science champion, and you will take 85% less damage from poison. And also, whenever you trigger either parry or dexterity, you sort of remove all the poison debuffs and also, of course, convert them to passive furies. So pretty much the idea is to kind of allow the defenders to inflict us with poison, and then hopefully convert them to fury, and repeat it until we have 15 passive furies, and then hopefully finish the fight as quick as possible. So that is pretty much the plan. And as you can see, the first defender on this path is Iron Man, OG Iron Man, who is not very complicated, apart from of course the arc overload, which triggers as soon as he goes below 15%, where he sort of gains a regeneration buff, and that kind of drags the fight to be a little bit longer. But apart from that, his all his special attacks and basic attacks are very simple and straightforward. So this fight should not be a problem at all. And also we are taking this path, especially looking at the defenders. The defenders on this lane are, in my opinion, a little bit less annoying compared to the other lanes. And that's also because the defenders, all of them, have special attacks that can be fully evaded, or rather fully avoided. And also a couple of them don't even do any projectile based attacks. neither basic nor specials, and you pretty much only have to kind of maintain your distance, and you won't have to deal with a lot of block damage, which is very ideal when, especially when using champions that are very low on PI or health. So as you can see, the first fight is almost over, and we have to deal with that arc overload, which kind of gives him a regeneration buff, and that drags the fight to a bit longer, but apart from that, it's still a simple fight, and it's over. So moving on, we have Seahawk, who is again a simple fight. You don't have to deal with any complexities. Her special attacks are all physical based, meaning only punches and kicks. But she is being a little bit dodgy, and I take a punch on the face. Well, lucky for me that it was not a full combo, and also hopefully we can heal back up with our SP2. As you know, Redhawk can kind of consume 2 hit charges and give himself a little bit of regeneration with his special 2, and hopefully we can use it and kind of heal back up to a little bit. And apart from that, this fight is not that much complicated. The only annoying thing can be if you kind of get hit while she has a lot of furies, which she can sort of stack up through either getting hit or whenever she hits you, which you don't want to happen pretty much. And also if you kind of use your heavies or special attacks in quick succession, there's fury effects on her gets all refreshed. So you want to be a little bit smart while using your heavies or specials. And also keep in mind that weaken the feet node, which sort of gives a weakness debuff to you throughout the fight, and the only way you can shut it down is by parrying the opponent, and that sort of turns it off for just a couple of seconds, and you have to sort of use your special attacks within that window, and you don't have to deal with that 50% decreased damage on your special attacks. Anyway, next up we have Thor, the OG one. And by the fight, there is nothing to talk about. Of course, apart from the SP2 perhaps for some players who might find it a little bit difficult to text. It's just a throw of his hammer, which you'll have to sort of avoid by triggering dexterity. And apart from that, he also has a chance to gain fury buffs whenever you attack him. And anyway, you don't want to get hit by him, but if he has fury active, his attack will be increased by quite a lot. And also, even if you get hit, make sure that you don't get hit by his special attacks, because for once it will deal a big amount of damage, and also has a chance to sort of stun you and also armor break you, and worst case scenario it will knock you out instantly, sort of. So besides that, the fight is quite simple and straightforward. You just keep baiting his SP1 and SP2 and attack him afterwards. As simple as that. So as you can see, the fight is almost over. So it's pretty much reliant on how fast you stack up your furies. and depending on that, the fight, the duration of the fight will be decided. So as you can see, the fight was quite simple and was over quite quickly as well. After this, we have 3 more fights before the boss, which hopefully we can do quite efficiently and without any casualties. Next up, as you can see, is Mr. Iron Fist, which is perhaps the easiest in this line, especially because all his special attacks are physical based and he is not very much beyond a martial artist, and he sort of has a super punch kind of thing, according to the comics. And the game, he kind of does 2 damage from his punches and kicks perhaps, and also his attacks sort of has a chance to armor break you, both basic and special attacks. And apart from that, he has nothing to be worried about. So that is pretty much about the fight. And also we have a class advantage, and also for Redhawk, you also whenever parry a mystic champion, you sort of gain your hit charges up and up and up, which is not even needed because of course, because of the nodes, will be inflicted with poisons, and that will keep our hit charges pretty high. And as you can see, the fight was one of the shortest, perhaps one of the quickest ones in the entire lane. Up next we have Dr. Octopus, who is funnily enough a little bit, I find him sort of a little bit annoying, especially whenever it is a very big PI one, especially when the fight is on the longer side. And that's because I cannot sort of predict his tentacle attacks. It's nothing about his special attacks. I can very easily sort of detect both of the special attacks, but I don't know, for some reasons I get hit by his basic attacks. I sort of miss my parries while playing against him. And also there are certain other champions where I find myself struggling a little. But apart from that, you just have to sort of keep betting SP1, or if you are comfortable, also maybe SP2. But also, more to be more ideal, you perhaps want to stick to his SP1s because the duration of the SP2 is quite sort of long, and because of that additional node, you sort of is inflicted with degeneration if you don't attack the attacker within the window of 6 seconds. So because of that, you don't ideally want to push him to SP2. And also, if he reaches to SP2 and decides not to throw it quickly enough, you might end up taking a lot of degen damage. So because of that, you'd want to stick to SP1, or he sort of likes to throw quite often. And also, a small tip, if he is not sort of using those special attacks, what you can do is sort of try to knock him down by using either heavy or special attacks. So what I like to do is, if he is about to reach a bar of power, I try to knock him down just like this, and he'll in most case scenarios throw his special attacks, and that will sort of keep the pace of the fight, and we don't end up taking a lot of degen damage, which is not very ideal when using only 4 stars. But anyway, the degen damage is not that big of a deal, unless of course you take it for a very long duration. And even if you are inflicted within the quest sometimes in a while with that degen, you just shouldn't be freaking out. And also, of course, you can anytime use your SP2 to kind of heal back up. So just keep calm, and the fights could be in a bit of longer side, but apart from that, they are all very simple and straightforward. Up next, we have Rhino. The annoying things on him, as you can see, is that his dash attacks are unstoppable. He is unstoppable on his dash attacks, meaning you cannot sort of intercept his dash attacks unless, of course, your attacker has a mechanic to sort of nullify any unstoppable. And also, as you could see from the abilities, he has a chance to go unblockable on his dash attacks, but of course, as you can see, we have, and that depends. The chance is more the smaller your opponent is. So, as you know, Redhawk is XL, and that's why his chances to be unblockable on his dash attacks will be minimal. So that is why Redhawk is also a great counter for any Rhino fights. And but of course, there is of course a chance, could be very minimal, but still there is a chance that his dash attacks can be unblockable. So you have to keep your eye on that, and also do not try to sort of intercept his dash attacks. And another sort of a little annoying thing could be his armor, which is actually his awakened ability. And there is another plus we have with Redhawk, is that apart from his regular damage, he also does a physical sort of damage, which is seen in the red numbers there. If you notice carefully, you can sort of see that, and which depends on, of course, the amount of hit charges we have at the moment. But still, this fight could be on a bit of a longer side compared to the other champions on the lane. But apart from that, it's nothing that complicated. You just both his special 1 and 2 are very easy to evade. You just have to sort of maintain your distance. SP1 can be a little bit tricky unless, of course, you are very comfortable with that. And also, if not using an XL champion, you would not want to keep your distance. You would want to stay as close as possible, and you would ideally want to sort of finish your combo so that you stay close to the defender, and you don't have to be worried unless you are in a distance and he gets to dash at you. So as you can see, the fight was a little longer, but nothing that crazy or complicated. Anyway, that was the last fight on that path, and we'll now be moving on to the boss fight, which is Odin. And here we are. And for the nodes, we also have an additional link node, 100% health, apart from, of course, all the local nodes, which are 100% attack, divine barrier, free, meaning while fighting a mystic attacker, like whenever you use a mystic attacker, the defender sort of gains an immunity to stagger or nullify every 10 seconds, and it also lasts for 10 seconds. And if you sort of nullify or stagger him, it will pause that timer for 2 seconds, meaning it will sort of carry on 2 seconds more for every stagger or nullify you deal to the opponent. And Apart from that, of course, he has supercharge, which means every 15 seconds he gains a little bit of power, which is not very significant. And also he has speeds of indestructible, which is whenever you raise 2 bars of powers, the defender sort of gains an indestructible buff, meaning you don't want to use a special 2 as soon as you reach there. You might want to sort of wait a little while until, of course, the indestructible expires, and then or stick to your SP1 and SP3. And there is also, now you see me, wherein if you don't attack him within the 8-second threshold, he will inflict you with a falter debuff. The falter duration is 3 seconds, meaning for 3 seconds if you try to attack the defender, you will miss, unless of course you are using any champion that can bypass the miss effects. And ideally you would either not to want to allow him to stay unhit for 8 seconds, or even if a falter is applied to you, you can ideally wait until it expires. So you have to keep your eye on that falter timer. And also this is linked with the next node here, which is steady perseverance, meaning after every special attacks he sort of becomes stun immune for 6 seconds and an additional 2 seconds if he throws another special attack within that time, which can be a little bit tricky, especially because after special attacks you sort of don't get a proper opening after his special attacks, and then he becomes stun immune, and unless you get an opening after that through intercepts, or if he launches his heavy. But if he doesn't do and he continues his combo as normal, it might exceed the 6 seconds timer and you might get caught faltered. So you just have to be worried about that. And apart from that, of course, don't rely on your parries after his special attacks, because as you can see, the green icon there is for stun immunity, as you can see. And also we are dealing a little bit of damage from our synergy from Mr. Fantastic, which sort of applies that power sting up to 3 stacks, and also every time he uses his special attacks he takes a little bit of damage. And the bad thing here, of course, is that we cannot sort of reliably do parry heavy because of that stun immunity thing going on. And as you can see, both his special attacks are very simple to dext. However, they are both projectile based, and you'll have to trigger dexterity to sort of avoid them. And also if you are in close range, you can of course counter attack after the special, but if you are on distance, you'd most likely be intercepted if you try that. And also keep in your mind that after every special attacks he'll be stun immune for the next 6 seconds, and also if he throws a special attack between that, it will be increased by another 2 seconds. And for that you can anytime look at that green icon. If that is on, he'll be stun immune. So that's simple as that. And also as you can see, whenever you raise your 2 bars of powers, he becomes indestructible for a little while, and you'd ideally want to wait until that expires. Which, funnily enough, I used an SP2 when he was indestructible, and well, could have retried the whole quest, but so I thought maybe that would be even better for you to understand what mistakes not to make in this fight. So sort of I used my SP2 when his indestructible was on and it was all wasted. And apart from that, in my opinion, the most important thing to notice here is the falter timer. You have to keep your eye on that all the time, because if you get caught by that even once, it could be detrimental, especially because of that fury Odin has, and also from his basic abilities he can hit you really hard. And of course, while using 4 stars, one combo could be enough to knock you out. And apart from that, there is that power gain, continuous power gain sort of, which we are bypassing by through our tag synergy with Dr. Octopus. There I got caught by his combo for some reason, but lucky for us that Beardo has a big chance of glancing attacks, which prevents the attacks from being critical, and hence we survived that. And again we are launching our SP3, and hopefully we'll finish the fight in a while without further problems. So basically we have 3 essential, sorry, I got caught by a combo, and now we'll have to play safer. And what I was telling is that our synergies are playing a big role in this fight. So yeah, to be precise, the Mr. Fantastic synergy allows us to deal a small amount of damage every time he uses his special attacks, and from the tech synergy we control his power gain because of the petrify, and from the cosmic synergy we sort of armor break him all the time and increase our attack by quite a lot. And also because of the science synergy we pretty much inflict him with tons of weakness debuffs, and even if he get caught by his attacks, we sort of have a big chance to survive it. And as you can see, the fight was quite long, and apart from me personally making it a little bit messy because of my own mistakes, it was not that a difficult one. So ideally you would want to bring any champion that can deal with that power gain, and you would want to sort of get used to his SP1 and SP2, and maybe also keep an eye on that stun immunity and falter timer. And of course we are also benefiting from the perfect block of Captain America, which helped us by quite a lot, because of course block damage can be another issue if using low PI champions, so you'd want to keep that in mind too. But overall, I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please make sure to like, share and comment, and also subscribe to the channel. I'll see you in the next one. Till then, take care.